Hippo's gonna mosh with Matt and I. Hippo's gonna be the center.
I'm sorry, hold on.
It matters me pushing you back and forth.
I was talking about it with a coworker of mine. Those tickets are sold out if you don't already know that.
Oh Jesus, no, I did not already know that. Okay, cool.
So we're not going to that.
All right, we'll just play their music in this room, and we'll mosh all three of us. And God, everyone's invited.
Set up some lights.
And we'll all put Hippo in the middle, and we'll all just push Hippo back and forth in the middle.
Hippo doesn't mosh.
You wouldn't mosh if it was just like 10 of your friends pushing you in the center?
No, I don't like that. I'm not a fan. I don't understand why that's so hard to gather.
No, it's understandable. I can understand why someone
that love it, and I'm like, no.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast, your favorite podcast where we talk about ours and your favorite Pauper format. Pauper.
I didn't know there were other Pauper formats.
There's Pauper Commander, baby.
That's fair.
Pauper Cube. Pauper
Cube
Modern.
I can be into.
Pauper Modern.
That could be interesting.
Pauper Legacy. Wait a minute.
Pauper Legacy. Like,
yeah, that's just Pauper.
That's literally just Pauper.
But Pauper Momiervig. Okay, but anyway,
Jesus Christ.
I'm Cameron Schindler, your host, joined by my other host, Thomas Gunn. What's up, man?
Lotus. Nothing but Lotus. Always Lotus. I dream. All I dream is Lotus.
Lotus petal.
Lotus field.
Black
That's
petals.
it's all I see in my dreams.
You should play a Black Lotus.
Your land just taps for 3 Lotus petals.
It taps. Yes, it does.
Which is a card in this format.
No, I'm good. It's my final episode before the Pro Tour, and I'm excited.
But you're doing more after, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I intend
Like, that's
to continue.
some news.
I intend to continue recording this podcast post PT.
I was like, man, Cameron, we're just getting
Yeah.
like thrown away.
Stops recording.
Like we're trash.
No.
And I'm also joined by my other co-host, James Hippopotamus Hieronymus. How are you doing?
I am doing delightful and wonderful
Hippo.
and groovy all at the same time.
Ooh. Did you know hippos in the wild live for around 40 years?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. We'll enjoy you for another more...
Hippo fact.
Like another
16,
13 years.
then you're out of here. In captivity, they can reach up to 50. So.
Oh, all right. You got
I'm in captivity. I've got 23 years now. Let's go.
And today we're just gonna be doing kind of just a primer over the Magic Cup Chicago. This is episode 12.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, and we're gonna be doing a primer over MagicCon Chicago, like kind of a broad meta talk of what we think you could expect, and just some like general like tournament etiquette and some like MagicCon life hack stuff, like what you should bring and all that fun stuff. And of course, at the end, we'll go over the Pauper Challenge. We are recording on Sunday, so we only have the Saturday available, unless within this hour they post it, which could happen.
It could.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We will find out by the end.
But the reason we're recording so early is because, Gunn, you're going up to Chicago here shortly to go.
I'm traveling up to Chicago on the day I would normally edit, and so this is the only day that works to record, and Tuesday's the only day to edit. So
Woo! Here we are.
thanks for your patience, fam.
So, Gunn, I'm going to throw it to you.
Cool. All right, fam. So, taking my brain out of Pioneer Land and returning it back to the lovely world of Pauper, where I enjoy spending my time. It's much more fun to spend my brain space in Pauper Land. We just kind of wanted to talk about what you would expect at the Pauper Cup in terms of like the best decks in the room, how to be prepared. If you are undecided between what deck to bring or a couple of decks, like how do you make that decision versus do you stick with something you got? We have a lot of general stuff to go over here. Pretty general casual vibes today. So I think we just wanted to start and talk about the top decks that we would expect to see in the room. Cameron and I were chatting a little bit before you got here, James, and I think it's pretty realistic to assume that the general percentages you're seeing on websites right now for like what the metagame looks like is probably going to be pretty close to what we'd expect. Most notably, having whatever the mono red deck in the room ends up being, which is likely to be Koldatha. It's likely that will be the most played deck in the room.
I agree, and I can also see some older variants of Burn more akin to what you're used to playing.
Sure.
Just because like people have like a Burn Pauper deck laying around, be like, this is still good. Let's roll with it, you know.
It's a deck that's the cards between 3 different formats are pretty close to each other, so
yeah they
chances
are.
are pretty high that you have most of the deck.
And Pauper is one of those formats where normally when we're talking about like something on Magic Online and how it takes longer for paper tournaments to adjust to it, these are commons. So like they're going to be easier to find to like with new tech and stuff if they're like at least newer commons. But so stuff adjusts pretty fast. So what Gunn said is pretty true. Like what you see online should be pretty true in paper.
Yeah, and we've seen that play out in our locals, playing around in other Pauper events around the area. That people generally there's always burn decks in some form or another, and I think that it being potentially one of the most accessible decks in the format in terms of just play style, just like go fast, get them dead, and honestly, like in a longer tournament setting. It's also, you could also consider it beneficial to have your rounds over with quicker than not.
Yeah, you have a lot more time to clear up your head and get readjusted and ready for the next round. You also, in case something went wrong and you need, you're frustrated and need some time to cool off a little bit, that's a great deck to play if you need some time between to refuel your brain
for sure.
A little bit.
Besides that, we think that the next few decks along the list, that being any number of the Terra decks, probably most likely blue-black, but I would very easily expect some mono-blue, some blue-red with Skred, the Jeskai Affinity decks with All That Glitters, the Golgari Gardens decks, and the Fairies decks, which again could be any flavor, probably most likely blue-black, but could also be blue-red, could be mono-blue, kind of in the same the veins as Terror in that way, as well as Grixis Affinity Coggates. Like these are your top decks of the format. There's a few other decks sprinkled throughout, but I think these are the decks that I think you should expect to see in a tournament of this size.
I agree, and just real quick, they did say that it was going to be max of 7 rounds.
Okay,
and that's a medium-sized like length. Like you're going to be playing Magic for
the
8
whole
hours.
day, basically, yeah.
Yeah, 8 hours of people are going the time, which probably will happen if 150 people are playing Magic. Each round will probably go a little bit over time. So if you haven't like played in that long of an event before and you're between two decks, maybe go with the quicker one. So it's like, I do play Gardens sometimes, but it's like, do I really want to be ending each round with 2 minutes left and play 7 rounds like that? That's a reasonable thing.
I agree. I think that there's also an argument, maybe not necessarily towards the quicker deck, but if there's one of those decks where you feel a lot more familiar with and you feel you can play it more smoothly, better, whatever word you want to put in there. But
that's a good point.
Yeah. Like I know for say legacy sakes, I would not be as comfortable in a long day casting brainstorms all day as I would, playing my normal bread and butter Death and Taxes deck. But I think the same can be said for here. Your games may go a lot longer on average, but the power of your brain across the day is going to be more. You're going to have better access to all of it when you play something you're more familiar with than something that may be more draining on you, if that's really what you're looking for.
Like I play a lot of Gardens.
Yeah,
it can take a while. I know when I need to like speed up my play and all that fun stuff. But on the other end, I've never played a single game of Pauper Burn, and I'm not going to start just because it's a faster deck. So definitely, like, play experience is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since it is, it's going to be Comp RAL, I believe.
I would believe that, yeah.
So if you're not, like, as familiar with that, it's going to be a little less lenient than, like, your FNMs and stuff. So you just want to make sure you're enunciating your triggers, all that fun stuff. Like, just be super clear of what you're targeting, when you're doing stuff, at what phase you're doing stuff, if it's beginning of combat, pre-combat, in step, second main phase, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
I would agree.
We're kind of jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
I thought we would go over decks and then we
yeah,
go over
yeah,
tournament stuff.
Interweaving.
Yeah, that's okay.
Tournament tips versus actual decks in the tournament.
Yeah.
I know I started talking about the Gardens thing when I'm like, oh yeah, then this. And I'm like, My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We're gonna keep it in because it's funny.
Where do we end off?
So we were talking about mental fortitude.
Okay, so like Burn and me saying Vulgari Gardens.
Play something you're more comfortable with.
Yeah,
like
if
you're waffling between
Perfect.
two decks, play what's more comfortable to you.
Okay, so we can reasonably expect to see Burn, Dimir Control, Affinity in some variants, or by Dimir Control I mean some Terror deck in some variant as well. Coggates, and like your Boro Synthesizer deck. Should we talk about like some of these outliers you're probably going to see as well?
We could touch on them.
I think the number one outlier, if you do get to play against it, is the Familiars deck. I think it's it and Mogwarts, I think, are the two like decks that are not like actually factually tier 1 that have the ability to just randomly win tournaments. I think those are two decks like consistently they do fairly well. They have a very solid game plan. And the people that play those decks really like those decks.
I agree.
And so they know what they're doing.
So how do we beat these decks? What sideboard cards should we be packing?
They are fragile. That's for sure. We'll start with the Mogwart side, right? Being able to remove the Skirk Prospector is like kind of game plan number 1. Like you don't let them have the free sack outlet. That stops that. So playing something like Gardens is pretty favored against something like Mogwarts.
And bring in Relics is really good against them too.
Having Graveyard Hate that works at instant speed, great. Because you want to be able to interact with the Persist creature, the Putrid Goblin.
Yep. You want to, when the Persist triggers on a stack, when they sack it, that's usually when you want to crack your Relic. But again, all things are relevant.
Yes.
And I have played against Mogwarts where I've done that, and then they have just casted another Putrid Goblin. I'm like, well, that's annoying.
Yep.
So be like you.
Also, this is a matchup where it may look like you may think you actually are dead on the board, and they don't actually have a way to kill you. So don't just concede immediately. Make sure they have like a way to actually kill you. Once they can present some way to do this, then you're fine. But don't always just concede because they have the combo. They can make infinite mana, but they have to have something to do with the infinite mana.
And Familiars, on the other hand, is one of those decks where it doesn't often combo off. It just gets to like a crazy board state, especially with these Memory Mystics now, or they just
that's secretly probably game plan number 1. Just get a Memory Mystic and play, and then just kind of quote infinitely loop the Archaeomancer stuff basically. Relic is also really good that matchup, being able to kind of eat their graveyard so that Archaeomancer is way less good. Removal spells also very good here. This is a very creature combo. Both of them are pretty creature oriented combo decks, so having creature removal is really good here too.
That makes sense. So like hit their key creature combo pieces, but also be aware like Mogwarts can always Deli Dispute in response, and Familiars of course can always Ephemerate in response.
They have counterspell too,
and that's a bigger blowout.
They sometimes it also depends. Also depending on what the build of the Familiars deck is, they also have sometimes have access to Prismatic Strands.
Yep.
So they have lots of answers to protect their stuff.
The nice thing about those game plans too is that they're also covered by having those sideboard cards like Relics or like instant speed graveyard interaction or instant speed creature removal. Those are also just good cards to have access to in your 75 against some of the more played decks anyway, like especially like Relics against terror decks, or just extra removal against whatever they're trying to put their all that glitters on against Affinity. So it's nice to know that these sideboard, like it's important to know in a longer tournament that your sideboard slots have more equity in fringe matchups as well, so you're not just like, oh, I need to make sure I have a specific card for this, I have to make sure I have a specific card for that, because it's likely that there's like a decent chunk of matchups that you just won't play. Like you're only going to play 7 rounds, and then ideally 3 more and win if you're in top 8. So like the maximum amount of rounds you can play in this tournament is 10, and like it's very unlikely that you play against 10 different decks. I mean, it could happen, Pauper, especially Paper Pauper, which is something that I think we're also going to say is like being in Paper, like people might bring whatever, because
you're going to see elves, like someone will be playing elves,
Yeah, like, and it's also an event that some people maybe are not taking as seriously competitively as others might be, because I think, Cameron, you're going to be kind of a tryhard
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like that's how you compete. That's kind of your.
That's just who
motivation.
I am. No matter what, if I'm cubing, I'm tryharding. Whenever I play Magic, I'm playing to win.
Yeah, like that's your motivation there. But there might be some people who are just playing just because they love Pauper and want to have fun for the afternoon. And if they top 8, great. Otherwise, they just they have fun anyway. So you could play against whatever under the sun. So it's important not to get so focused in on like, for me, it's like Flaring Pain in my burn sideboard of like, do I keep a Flaring Pain or 2? But like, honestly, they're good if someone brings Turbo Fog, and they're good against Prismatic Strands and like random other damage prevent, like the protection from red creatures or Circle of Protection red. You can just pop that after, and all of that goes away, things like that. So like, make sure your sideboard slots are they can hit a diverse array of threats. And then that way you're not just like having these narrow 1 or 2 cards that will only hit a couple things.
And if Mono Red Godolphin burn, whatever you want to call it, is 15% of the meta, and you're playing 7 rounds, like you might play it twice.
Right.
Like it's like 1 point something.
Like maybe it's I think that works out.
I think if it's point something actually.
It's like 1 point something.
Yeah. So like you could dodge it completely. Even then, like. You'll probably play against it once, but like that doesn't mean you should, just because it's gonna be the most popular deck, your whole sideboard shouldn't be devoted just to burn. You shouldn't have 4 Weather Storms, 4 Prismatic Strands, 4 Blue Blasts in there. I don't know what deck you're playing. Banterra can play those cards,
I did start thinking about a list.
list.
I did start thinking about a list, by the way.
Oh, we gotta make this happen.
But on the same vein, like bring your relics. I think.
Yeah, bring your relics, bring your
blasts. Bring your Weather the Storms.
Bring your Dust to Dust.
I think Dust to Dust and Cast of Fires will be very important.
For the most part, the lists you will find will have these. You'll see if you look at a bunch of lists, you'll see a lot of common threads.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of common threads throughout sideboards, and those are kind of your signals and of like, all right, these are the important things to cover in the format.
I think it's pretty obvious to say, hey, bring your Weather Storms and your Dawnbringer Clerics and whatever you deal with your X1s. Affinity, yeah, bring your Dust to Dust, Cast in the Fires and stuff like that. These graveyard decks, bring your relics. But what about these decks? Like, you'll see Dimir Control variants that they don't self-mill themselves. They'll just play a Terrors or Game Finisher, and they don't really care if it costs 2
they're
less.
Just playing a regular game of Magic.
Yeah, or like Gardens or something like that. These more control-y decks. What's good against these? Like, what should be your plan against these?
I guess it just depends. It just depends on what you are bringing to the tournament. Let's take for instance the red player. Mm-hmm. We'll start there because it'd be what we think is probably the most popular deck
under there.
Yeah, aggressive decks. You're just going to want to be as aggressive as possible. Like, you want to put all of their mana to the test every single turn of the game because they're only going to be able to do so much, with the resources they have. So, yeah, I would, and even if you're playing some like mid-rangey style deck, like something like Cameron played this month for our locals, like the Core Skyfisher type things, keep aggressive hands, keep cards or hands like the Hopeless Nightmares plus Core Skyfisher hands.
Or like those trinkety decks like that.
Yeah.
I think you're good against these control decks when it starts becoming really bad to 1-for-1 them.
Yeah. Or if you're playing something like Ephemerate, like the deck I played this month, against like Gardens, like most of their deck doesn't do anything against you. Like, you only have to counter like 2 cards in their deck. Like, you counter exactly like what the 2, like the Monarch creature and the initiative creature. Like, that's it. That's all that really matters.
And you do not need to cast Ephemerate until they cast a removal spell on your creature too.
Yeah, you just play your value Archaeomancer, get back your counter spell, play the game like that, because they're gonna eventually have to kill it. Then you're like, oh well, I'll just get you. Because then at that point you've like probably built up a couple counter spells in your hand, and then they only have so much mana. So yeah, it's just a bad time. Like, overload their resources. Like, do what you can there. I think that's the best way to go about that. Specifically, like on the garden side of things. I think the same thing goes for having. I guess if we're talking about the terror side of things, I think keeping more efficient pieces of reactionary items like red blasts. Like, red blasts are huge there. Mm-hmm. Things like that. Any cheap mana cost thing you can play against them is probably going to be way better than even if you were to play against like Gardens or something like that, because like the mana there is not as important as it is on the fairy side, because they're also way more reactionary.
And I've liked duress against these control decks, being like Gardens, whatever. I'm staring at a Terror variant. Also these Fairies decks because they can hold up Counterspell and Blast and all that stuff depending on what you're playing. And so like playing the Duress before you commit is very nice because then you just have all that open information.
Yeah, so you're playing with these super efficient cards like Duress, exactly. Something in that realm of things. I think mana efficiency is just like the name of the game.
I was gonna ask you guys a question too for fun. Do you think white blue or Jeskai affinity will be more popular?
Oh, it's gonna be Jeskai.
I think Jeskai.
Jeskai is kind of taken over as like the de facto like version of the Glitters deck.
And there are still different builds of these Jeskai too. You'll see some people playing the 1/1 Metalcraft, get +2/+2 guy.
Ardent Recruit.
Some people don't play any Ornithopters.
Some people are trying Demand Answers over the Ren's Resolves,
which Thomas is 100% on.
I'm very into that.
Demand Answers,
Demand
very impressive.
If you're playing Burn, throw some Demand Answers in there.
I will hopefully be busy.
Yeah,
I'll bring my deck, but I think it's full. I don't think.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Yeah, if this will come out Thursday.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has sold out already.
Yeah, as someone who's been victim to these sold out, but yeah, I get it.
So overall, do you guys want to move into Comp REL stuff?
Yeah, we all have a fairly decent back history of playing competitive. Obviously,
I don't. I have a quick question for you, Cameron. As someone playing in the Pauper Cup, first of all, if you're game to share, what are you planning to play?
I'll be playing Gardens.
What are your reasons for choosing Gardens as your deck for this tournament?
I think I've played the most games with it. I have won the most with this deck, and I feel like this is my kind of play style, and I do well. I'm gonna toot my own horn. I think I'm really smart, and I think I do well if decks have a lot of agency. So I like this, and sometimes I will just die if someone goes completely under me, and that will happen. But hey, that's what 4 Weather Storms are for, right?
There you go.
But
that's exactly right.
So it's just a deck I'm very, very comfortable with, and I've played a lot with, and I enjoy these grindy decks. I enjoy drawing cards off. I enjoy drawing 3 cards off Deadly Dispute or enter 2 mana draw spell. I love those decks.
You enjoy these big games,
where
there's a lot of decisions, there's a lot of resources being exchanged back and forth. Like you enjoy finding the line through the mess to see. To like get a few steps ahead of your opponent, like, oh, I see how I'm going to win this game or end this game. And you're like 3 or 4 turns ahead of your opponent in terms of thinking that plan out.
I enjoy that stuff. And if I wasn't playing this deck, I would either be playing some Boros Synthesizer with Demand Answers or that Orzhov Blade. Because when Gunn and I have been playing with that Orzhov Blade, it doesn't feel like it has a bad matchup.
It's good.
Like, you're just like, we played against Boros Synth and we played just one long grindy game before Hippo showed up, and I eventually got there with Boros Synth, but like you were in that game the entire time too. That was a game of Magic.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
You had to literally grind me out of a spot where I had no untapped white creatures and had sent, so I couldn't flash back Prismatic Strands.
And Pauper is one of those like wide open formats where if you're comfortable with the deck, just probably play it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you're going to see Is It Fairies because people like that. You're going to see 4-color gates because people like that stuff. Someone's going to bring their Walls combo. There's going to be a mono white weenie deck. There's going to be Orzhov Pestilence. So it's like, it's kind of a meta where you can target specific stuff.
I would just be on the side of playing a deck that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like that's like the kind of the general rule here. Because the format is as wide open as it is. Play something you're more comfortable with because a lot of the decks have like a game against other decks. So,
and I don't think there's a best deck in the format right now.
No, I don't think there's a definitive best deck.
And I think there's like 12 decks in A tier.
I think there are a lot of decks that are completely reasonable to bring, would not question your decision.
And because like you look at these challenges and something new pops up every week.
Yeah, seems to be the case. Yeah, we have even some this week.
If you have a good familiarity. Thank you. With this format, you can almost bring any pile of good cards that synergize well together.
Yeah, as long as you know what your plans are.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what, just real quick before we move on, what are your, for like, let's say these top 5 decks that I have on my screen here. So Koldatha Burn, Terror, Glitters, the Mirror, Gardens, and Fairies. Against those 5, just real quick, what are your plans? Either like sideboard cards or how you're going to attack those games.
Burn, it's not going to be open deck list, so Burn, I'm very okay losing game 1, but I have found somehow winning game 1 a few times of Reckoner's Bargain. I know we're playing. I won game 1 against you when you were playing Burn because I got a Reckoner's Bargain, a Avenging Hunter.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me. Then sideboarding, I'm bringing in my 4 Weather Storms. That's just my game plan. That'll get me there. And now I know.
It's a bold choice.
I know, very bold.
But hey.
And now I know I need to either mulligan to those or keep a hand that can deal with Kadoltha.
Because you're going to play against more Kadoltha than you are the actual Burn decks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like Drown in Sorrows and things like that.
Yep, I have my Drown Sorrows ready for that as well. Dimir Control, I'm just going to put that in Terror.
Yeah.
I'm going to win.
The games are going to go long.
The games are going to go wrong. I have more removal spells than they have creatures. So I think it's a very, very good matchup for Gardens. I'm going to have Relics too to bring in.
Yep.
And I'll bring in some Duress and bring in some Relics.
And it's funny because as those Terror decks slow down and try to not be exactly like the Turbo Terror decks like the Mono Blue version is, that actually makes your Relics of Opportunists very, very good.
Yes.
They're able to more effectively eat your opponent's graveyard than if they were playing Turbo Terror.
Especially because I feel like the Terror player is incentivized to aggressively Terror as soon as possible in that matchup because they are the aggro deck.
Yeah, I would agree.
If you could consider either, in the like who's the beatdown sort of ideology, like Terror becomes the beatdown. I think.
Oh, for sure. They want to go fast. They need quick Terrors in that matchup.
Yeah. And the good thing is you have some super clean answers in your deck to those cards too.
Yeah, Tithing Blade.
Tithing Blade's very good.
Who knew?
Even between the two, I think a card that like really carries its weight, at least in my experience, was like Crypt Rats. Crypt Rats is a nice clean answer, really clean answer, especially if they get like multiple terrors on a turn, and then you're able to resolve a Crypt Rats behind it. It's really good.
And against these, affinity really just varies if it's Glitters or Jeskai. Or Glitters or Grixis, just because Grixis is a lot more grindy game.
Mm-hmm.
But going with like the new technology that people have been loving, I'm assuming it's going to be Glitters. You just got to be prepared not to die to a Glitters creature.
Right. So like hold up your removal as long as possible.
Which it's nice because I know not everyone's playing Snuff Out. I think I'm on 1 or 2 Snuff Out as my flex slots.
I think I currently have 1 as well
because
that exact reason.
I like playing Snuff Outs.
It's just it's not free. Burn loves it, but
it's true.
You
just swap those out.
It's a Fire Blast right there, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have those Snuff Outs against Glitter, so you can always never tap out. But as soon as you tap out, they're gonna equip the Glitters on something and kill you. It's just how it always goes. What I bring in, I like Deglammers against them on my side. So if you're not playing Gardens, obviously your Artifact hate. But I also like my Drown in Sorrows. I wouldn't bring in the stuff that does -1/-1 against them, specifically stuff that does -2/-2 or deals 2 damage, because I've lost games to them where they just went on the Frogmite beatdown plan, and I just lost games to Frogmites and Thraben Inspectors, and I guess now they have that 3/3 and stuff. And of course, if you're playing white, Dust to Dust is insane against them.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Getting to double strip mine them is insane.
And your deck just grinds a lot better. Yes, they have all these really, really grindy cards, but when I was playing against it at our monthlies the other month, or this month, they played 4 Thoughtcast, and all their Thougtcast hit a Thoughtcast, but it also hit Ornithopter, Springleaf Drum,
these like
land.
do nothing cards.
Yeah, so I'm like, cool. I'm fine with that. My card,
they have a lot of fluff in the deck.
Exactly.
They have to have the fluff for speed, unfortunately.
Right. And then just later in the game, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Let's do Fairies next, and then we'll end with the Mirror.
Cool.
I imagine Fairies is fairly similar in terms of you're bringing in your sweepers, but I imagine this is where Duress to back those up.
Exactly.
It shines.
I'm bringing in the Duress, and I'm bringing in the Drown in Sorrows. And Crypt Rats is also really, really good here. A lot of it is playing on their instep, hoping to bait out something.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to like Spellstutter Sprite my Deadly Dispute because they're like, ooh, they had to sack their
Tithing Blade,
like their Limbus or something. I got them here, but I'm like, okay, cool, untap, Drown in Sorrow. Like you really want to get them that way. They're trying to 1-for-1 you in a similar way of you're 1-for-1ing them, It's just they have the ninjas as their draw engines versus like your dispute effects, or my dispute effects, I should say. So you just got to come out on those 1-for-1 exchanges, which can be really tough, and know when you're picking your fights is really weird. And trying to think about ninja timing.
Right, like whether you kill it in attacks or...
Yeah, if you're going to kill a creature that's not a ninja, you have to do it before blockers.
Yes.
And if you want to bait out a ninja, you have to do it before damage, because if you try to cast down their spell source sprite before damage after blockers, they can ninja back in and fizzle your thing. So you just have to be that's pretty, like, if you're really into Pauper, that's kind of like common knowledge. That's like the fairy trick kind of thing, so you just got to be really aware of that. And how does that work even if you try to cast down their spell setter sprite and they ninja and bring it back, can they spell setter sprite your cast down?
Yeah, they can.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, ninjutsuing the spell stutter sprite back to their hand. That's
trick.
Like the best thing to do.
Yeah, that's the trick. I mean, they have two really good ETB creatures, the spell stutter sprite itself, and then the one drop Fairy Seer.
Yep.
It's like start filtering some of their draws.
Yeah.
And Monarch is also really good against me too.
Yeah, they also have their own Monarch creature.
Because I can struggle to get that back, so I can see that matchup being really hard.
I think that matchup is probably it'll probably be one of the harder ones you play throughout the day as the Gardens player. Yeah.
Then the mirror you were curious about. I think I'm only really bringing in the duress. I could see bringing in the relics just if there's some stuff that I absolutely hate.
Sure.
In my deck, like I know Crypt Rats isn't the best in the mirror, but also like it has situations where it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'll take my list that I handed somebody this past month, I had Nihil spell bombs in instead of relics for them. I think if that's a matchup where if you were specifically targeting terror, that's probably the card you're looking for. And also I think that also works here as well. I think if you don't want to nuke your own graveyard here, if you also wanted to hit the opposing player, I think the Nihil Spellbomb's pretty good here as well.
I like that.
So you get to keep your own stuff.
Yeah. And
what's your general game plan? Like how are you approaching the mirror? Like it's gonna go long.
Yeah, you gotta play
be
fast.
Really grindy.
Win game 1, win the dice roll.
Yeah.
You kind of want to keep a hand that has Monarch or Avenging Hunter, because once somebody has it, it's really hard to take it back, and they're not going to take it back by hitting you. They're going to take it back by playing their own.
I almost think you want to don't want to be the first one to flinch.
Yeah, but at the same time, when I played the mirror, I was on the play.
Yeah.
And the end of their turn 3, going to my turn 4, I deadly disputed something away, made a treasure, played my 4th land, sacked the treasure, and slammed Avenging Hunter.
That's a different conversation. If we're ramping with exactly just deadly dispute, I think that's a different story. I think over the course, if nothing like that happens, I think if you're just playing a normal game, on rate, your opponent plays one and then or plays the initiative creature like the Avenging Hunter on turn 5, and then they flinch first, so they're going to lose it first, right? Because you're going to play your own on the following turn. Hopefully, yeah. That's the idea.
And so that is a really, really tricky mirror too.
Yeah,
because you both have ample removal spells. That's not going to change, And whoever keeps the initiative the longest or the Monarch is probably going to run away with the game. But that game where I did ramp into it, I had it uncontested for I think one before the final one, and then they killed mine. And then played their own, and then they had it uncontested for the longest time, and eventually I brought back mine and played it, and so it's just...
Yeah, I think it's whoever flinches first, because over the course of the game, you're both going to trade back having it, because you're both going to draw it at multiple points, or have it die and bring it back with the Witch's Cottage, or with the Blood Fountain, or whatever, and it'll just get switched back and forth a lot. I think is the idea here, because you're not gonna really going to get it through combat. It's going to be really, really difficult.
For sure. And hope to dodge Ponza for me. That's so bad.
Someone might have it.
They will. Somebody will.
Somebody will probably bring it because they just want to cheese people.
Right.
Yeah,
cool.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff there. So I'm not gonna be.
But you're prepared, and I think the important part that I'm glad that that like you went through, and I think we wanted to highlight is that you have plans for all these matchups. And like going into a long tournament where you're going to play a bunch of different stuff, that's really the most important. That's like the key to success in like just feeling like you know what you're doing. You're not going to keep, this is a 7-card hand. Like, no, you need to keep hands that like actively work towards the plan that your deck is trying to
especially
put itself in
this
in
format.
the matchup.
This format doesn't have a lot of room for leniency. You have to have some plan to start the game. Otherwise, you're going to get either going to get run over, or you're just going to get outvalued.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have something that keeps up.
That's Pauper right
Yeah.
there. I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to draw a million cards, and I'll figure it out eventually.
But yeah,
that's
that's definitely the idea.
That's Pauper. Or some weird combination of both, like synth.
Yeah. I think if I were playing this weekend, I would either register Borosynth or one of the like white-black variants as well. I think that's what I would do.
I really like the white-black deck because it just feels like it never runs out of gas.
Yeah.
But I can see it not being as great against like specific combo decks just because you don't have like as much targeter removal, like the Tithing Blade. So like if you're playing against a Walls combo or the Goblins deck or something, like, okay, I'll sack whatever I don't care about, or my Persist creature that comes back, and
yeah, that seems fair. I think if you expected to play against the exact like five that we mentioned, then I think something like the white-black deck looks really good.
I agree. That deck's really cool.
But I think if I were playing, I would play one of those two.
Should we talk a little bit about Comp REL?
Yeah.
So, welcome to competitive rules enforcement level.
Yeah. For anyone who hasn't played before, we're not like making any assumptions. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening who have played their fair share of competitive tournaments, but knowing the Pauper being kind of more of a casual format,
definitely more casual.
This could very likely be the largest tournament some of our people who are listening have played. I think that is actually the case for some of our locals who are going up to play.
And I guess like a little bit of like our resume. Gunn, this is your second Pro Tour you're playing in.
It's true.
That's pretty good. That's good enough. We don't need any more.
Pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Hippo, you were around in the GP eras.
I've played GPs, Star City events, all that good junk. Yeah, I've got lots of tournaments under my belt.
Y'all have played in lots of GPs.
Yeah.
We have all played in like the modern, like I shouldn't say modern specifically because that could mean
the modern era.
So
the
like
modern era of competitive matches.
The new school RCs and stuff like that. We've played in those, so we all have like our fair share of like high pressured stuff, like SCG cons, that stuff like that. So we've all played in like high pressure scenarios and fun stuff like that. I guess I don't know how they want their deck list on here. I don't know if they want them beforehand or not. I should probably figure that out since I'm the one playing in it.
It might say it on the website.
On the email they gave me, it said, "You're all good here. You got nothing else to do." So I'm like, all right, I guess I don't got to bring a deck list. But I'll ask someone beforehand.
I imagine if it's run through Melee, it's probably online.
That's true.
Yeah, it will probably be through online registration. If not, then they'll have paper deck sheets that you'll hand in. That should be it'll be self-explanatory.
Like just double check your deck list, make sure it matches what you have. Have a friend double check it, count it, make sure it equals 60. I have done something dumb in like I was playing Mono Green and Pioneer, and I wrote down Nykthos, and I stopped there. I just forgot to write down the other half of the card.
That wasn't the one that caused the issue.
No, it was, but still, that is an issue itself. So, I did it twice. Also, Passeju in the same day, the same deck list. So, like,
you got through that one on an extreme technicality.
Yes, I did. But
that's okay. He won that tournament.
He did win the tournament against who? Who was his finals opponent?
Oh, just
some nobody.
Is this some co-host of this podcast that's key for the Pro Tour?
I mean, it could have been.
It could have been. Double check that. Get spell pierce. Make sure you count your cards, all that fun stuff. Before you start playing your next round, you sit down, count your sideboard, make sure there's 15, and those are those 15 cards that belong there.
Yes.
There's no wishing here.
Yeah, you don't want to get a game loss for starting the game with sideboard cards in your deck.
It's not fun.
No.
I guarantee your opponent doesn't want to sit through the whole process of the judge call. It's not very fun.
Right.
And nobody likes it because either way, if you get a game loss, not a match loss, a game loss, both players feel bad. If you're getting the game loss, you feel bad because I just got game loss. It sucks. You're going to be on tilt the whole day. Yeah. Probably. And
that's an assumption.
Yeah.
But
your opponent, it's not fun for your opponent either Because then if they lose, they're going to be on tilt the whole day. Because if they lose, they're like, oh my gosh, I just got a free win and I still lost this. Like, it's not fun for anybody.
Yeah. Another thing that to keep in mind for sure that does not get talked about enough is how you and a judge interact. Judges are an extremely important part of competitive rules enforcement level. Do not be afraid to call a judge anytime that you have a question about anything going on inside of your match, or heck, even a match that's around you. If there's a question, call for a judge. Raise your hand and yell for a judge.
That's a good point. They are happy to help. I have not had a bad interaction with a judge.
No, judges are there to make sure everyone has a good time.
Yeah,
like they want things to stay as clean as possible and want everybody to have a good tournament experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Most judges do what they do because they love what they do. They don't do it because they get paid a lot.
They're not driving Maseratis and Bentleys.
Yeah, they're doing it because they love the game and love the community that the game builds. We appreciate you, judges. Yes.
Shout out to Garrison. We love you.
Yes, Garrison, our favorite local judge that goes on lots of Magic trips.
He'll be there.
He'll be here.
He judges a lot.
But don't be afraid of calling a judge. Like, seriously,
that's a really, really good point.
I think that is something that does not get talked about enough in any competitive setting.
And when you're interacting with them, just be patient, kind, courteous. If you're explaining something, explain it take your time explaining it. You don't take too slow, but
you'll get a time extension. If you've never called a judge before, they'll recognize at what time they came over when your hand shot up, and they'll give you that plus 4 minutes back.
Yeah, however long the judge called, so depending on whatever it is. Yeah. Also, another thing, I know Cameron said, make sure you've got the 15 cards in your sideboard. Yeah, don't get deck checked and that be the issue.
Just don't cheat.
Yeah, don't.
And we're fine.
Yeah.
Don't lie to a judge and don't cheat, and you will not have a problem.
Yeah, you'll be totally fine. Some other things in the current modern era of competitive Magic, make sure that if your deck has foils in it, that you cannot notice them inside of your deck. That is huge. Actually, this is a great opportunity for you to go talk to a judge and make friends with the judge, so they can check your deck and make sure that it is okay to play inside the tournament.
I'm trying to foil out Gardens. It's not completely foiled out.
Yeah.
So I will bring the extra copies with me, and I will go talk to a judge first.
Yeah, very good. If you have same thing goes. If you have altered cards, same scenario. Go check with the judge.
Sleeves, hey, do these sleeves look all right?
Yeah. Any possible question you can think of that you may need asked throughout, or help answer throughout the day, call a judge.
For sure.
Even before or after the tournament, and in the between for sure.
Yeah, in the between, definitely.
In the between for sure. I did think that's a huge part of it. Be clear and concise when speaking or interacting with your opponent in any possible way you can. Make sure that you have written life totals.
Yes.
Do not use your phone for the companion app for life totals.
Don't use dice.
Do not use dice.
They get knocked over.
Make sure you have a written form of your life total. You can use the boogie boards. Those are great. I know I use one.
# not sponsored.
But they're great.
I like having my physical tokens on me,
yes.
Especially in Pauper, a format that makes a lot of tokens. It's just
makes the game a lot cleaner.
Mm-hmm. I think it was you. No, I was playing against one of our buddies in Cube, and I attacked into, I thought, an empty board, and there was just a face down add card, and he was very clear and precise on what it was, but I'm I just didn't register what it was when I attacked. And I'm that felt bad.
Yeah,
you were pretty tilted.
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
but
Pauper tends to make a lot more tokens than most other formats do. Yeah, make sure that you have appropriate tokens.
Because I'm not going to be happy if you have a blood, a map, a treasure, and it's all a face down add card.
Yeah, that's not going to work. You have to have some way to differentiate what's what.
Especially if you're playing Gardens.
Yeah, I have now upped my game and have all of the tokens for the deck. I made sure that. So.
And when you said be clear and precise to Hippo, I think it's important. If you're casting a spell in your opponent's turn, be very clear what phase you're casting in, especially in the combat phase. Combat has 6 phases in it.
Yes.
So are we before combat? Remember, if you cast something before combat,
beginning of combat step.
Yeah, if you cast something before combat, they have the opportunity to stay in their main phase.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't want a combat trigger to happen.
So this is why you would probably tend to move to the beginning of combat, where they no longer have the ability to use sorceries. Or sorcery speed.
Yeah, but some things trigger in the beginning of combat as well.
Correct.
So it's just very, very... Magic is always situational.
Yes.
But just be clear, be precise to your opponent. Is this before damage? Is this before blockers? Especially against the fairies deck. if you're casting something on their turn, be very clear what phase.
Yes, very important.
Just take a second to breathe too. Like,
yeah, take your time. Like, you have 50 minutes. You have to play at a reasonable pace, but like, you can also like take a breath, take your time.
Like, read cards. It's always nice to read the cards. I've passed turns when I've had a land drop to play, and I'm just too embarrassed to ask my opponent if I can play that. You know, I have done stuff where I'm holding up Deadly Dispute. I'm like, I'm gonna do this on their end step, and I just untap, drop. They do a bunch of stuff. I just untap, draw my card, and I'm just, why did I do that?
Yeah. Just center yourself, be in the moment. Each round is a new round. Mm-hmm. Treat it as such. You have the opportunity to improve upon your last round, no matter whether you won or lost. Because if you won the last one, you can win the next one. That means you're up in a whole another match. Mm-hmm. Or if you lost the last one, you reset, and then you win this one. Now you're even. Now it's time to keep going and crush the day.
And especially if like this is like your way to have fun. Like, we all enjoy Magic because we're having fun. Have fun with it. All that fun stuff, you know, like,
yeah,
yes, it's fun to win, but like, your opponent is a human being. Make sure you're not being a sore loser and tilting off in their face and stuff. It's okay to be frustrated or angry. Just don't take that out on your opponent.
Yeah, yes. Your opponent as a person has feelings as well.
Mm-hmm. We've all been there. We've had an awkward opponent, or yourself have been tilted, and you just gotta like take a second. Like, I have like gotten beaten, and I did something really stupid, and I said good games, gave them bumps. I didn't sit. They want to talk to me. I did not want to talk to them currently because they were a friend of ours. And I just got up and I like, hey, I gotta like use the restroom or something. You know, because it's just like, go to the restroom and scream a little bit, then you're good.
Yeah. I know something that I like to do, even that I'm going to do as much now, but during like big tournaments, having reset music.
Yeah,
I like having
big on that.
I like having reset music. Usually, I'll pick a song for the weekend, and in between rounds, I'll fire up the song, and we're back to square one. I know some of the tournaments that I've done or had a more successful rate in. That's been a huge part of that, is having a reset between every round.
I have one more Magic specific stuff before we get into like non-Magic stuff for the tournament,
sure.
And that is with like sideboards. I know it kind of varies from place to place, but for the most part, they don't like it on your phone. Have it written down on a piece of paper.
Oh, your sideboard plan.
Yeah, sideboard guide and that. If you do have one.
If you do have it on your phone, your opponent is allowed to look at it as
Sometimes they don't even let you have it on your phone, too.
Right. Yeah, it'll depend on the...
So just do not have it on your phone.
If they do allow the phone, you are allowed... Your opponent is also able to see that.
Okay, just write it down on a piece of paper.
It would be a lot easier. I know a buddy of ours keeps his entire sideboard guide within the size of a Magic card. Mm-hmm. Rayton does.
Oh,
Rayton keeps his entire sideboard guide for Murktide on a singular space of a Magic card.
I did that for a tournament once.
That's cool.
I won that tournament.
I do remember that. I was present.
You were commentating.
I was commentating your win on that one.
TNLG?
Yeah. For my first RCQ win.
Yeah. Trying to think of some of the other good pieces of tournament advice.
I think that covers most of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Be precise. Be kind.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Breathe. Yeah, all that fun stuff. But like,
speaking of breathing,
no. This is more life.
Yeah, that's what we're moving into.
Let's move into that. Go ahead. So let's start us off. So like non-Magic, just like how do you we kind of talked about
it's gonna be packed.
There's gonna be a lot of people there. You kind of talked about like reset music.
So as I mentioned, I kind of do some reset music between rounds. Keeps myself grounded. Do whatever you need to do for that kind of thing if that's your thing that you need. Bring a book with you. Read a couple pages of your book. Go take some breathing exercises outside in the hall or whatever. Stuff like that.
Stay hydrated.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please drink water.
I think you're allowed to bring in your water bottle and fill it up.
I think so.
I don't imagine why you wouldn't. But.
So just stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. If you're going to play all 7 rounds, drink lots of water. Have like a little granola bar as a snack or something.
Yeah, I tend to bring like some beef jerky that I can munch on, a couple pieces between rounds, or like as like a granola bar or something like that throughout the day.
I like those "That's It" bars because I'm allergic to everything, so it's just like
that's it.
I don't know. I don't know if you've ever seen. They're good.
I have.
If you don't eat big meals throughout the day, like that's like not the good play. Because what your brain is doing is having to spend a lot of extra energy digesting food and not thinking about Magic. So keep your eating throughout the day because you're going to be playing 7 rounds. Keep it kind of light. things like, as I said, the beef jerkies, the granola bars, the fruit, all that kind of stuff. Keep it light, nothing too heavy.
To that point, at DreamHack Dallas this past last summer, the RC that I queued for my first Pro Tour, I took my first loss in round 5. And it was really quick. I lost to Convoke super, super fast. And I was like, okay, I'm hungry now. We're like halfway through a long Saturday of playing Magic. And I'm like, I just need to find something. And I went to the other side of the convention hall at DreamHack, and I found like one of those little 4-slice pizza things. I'm like, all right, it's not the healthiest food in the world, but I just need something in my body. I'm like, I can feel myself fading. And I had half of it, and I'm like, okay, if I eat the other half of this, I am going to be a sluggish mess the rest of the day. I could feel it. And then I ran into you, James. I was like, here, please take this. You can eat it. Someone else can eat it. I don't care. Just take it away from me. I've had what I need, and I munched on cashews the rest of the day.
Yep. Any kind of like trail mix type stuff, also very good. Some other things, for those who use backpacks a lot, make sure your backpack stays on your person or in your eyesight at all times. You're in a big tournament. Don't lose your stuff. That'd be really tragic.
Not a big tournament. You're at a big con.
Yeah. You're like, well, yeah.
Like just huge event.
Yeah, you're in this huge convention. Make sure you keep your stuff on you and in your vicinity of vision.
And I like having a chapstick because my lips get chapped. I always like having chapstick on me. I like having an extra pair of socks because if somehow my feet get wet, my day's ruined. Wet feet I hate it. I have an extra pair of socks. If there's ever a puddle I need to fight against. And I like having my power bank and phone charger on me.
Yeah,
so I
that's
can.
huge.
It's gonna be a long day.
That's
I think most of your pairings
one.
are done through Melee, so you're gonna be on your phone a lot, having to report.
No matter what event you're doing, you're gonna be on your phone a lot. You're gonna be TCGing prices and trading with all the other Commander players and stuff like that.
Yeah, your phone's in a lot of use throughout the weekend.
Especially if you're a Commander player too, you're gonna be using your phone for your life tools probably because that's like the most convenient thing with like the 40, like the 4 square thing.
Yep.
So just have that power bank on you.
Yeah.
Go wash your hands.
Yes.
Please, for the love of God, go wash your hands.
Don't eat that pizza and touch my cards.
Yeah, please. Yeah, if you that's one thing. Also, Magic. We're human beings. People are gross. I'm just being real. Like people are gross on the whole. Go wash your hands between rounds. Carry hand sanitizer with you. Something to mitigate germs.
Wear deodorant. Take a shower.
Yes, please. There's hygiene stuff.
You know, bring deodorant.
Yes, I always have deodorant in my bag.
That's smart. I like that.
Like I'm generally not a very smelly person, but I can get a little sweaty when I'm like in a high stress situation. So I'm like, okay.
Also, you're going to be around a ton of people. It's going to probably be a little warm, if I had to guess, inside that.
Yeah,
inside that event hall.
Have some room if you need to take off your sweatshirt. It's gonna be awkward because we're in Chicago in February, so it's like it's gonna be chilly. But I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of people.
Yeah. Just create like a routine for yourself. What works best for me that I've found is when I finish my round, don't go see my friends right away. Just like go use the restroom, wash my hands, refill my water bottle that I've hopefully drank most of during my round of gameplay, so I'm staying hydrated. Refill that, and then go. Then like if I need to feel like I need to take a second, plug my phone into the wall because I don't have a power bank, but like just like take a second, chill, maybe listen to music. Either I do that if I feel I need it, and then I go find my friends. Make sure I do my bio break, reset my water. Like even that is enough of a routine for me at the end of every round that I can get into the rhythm of, okay, I'm doing this. I won my match. Now I'm going to go do this and reset and then go find my friends and talk about how their matches went.
And on that vein too, even if you're not playing in any tournaments or anything like that, and if you're going with a group of friends or a bunch of people like I know there's going to be a lot of Nashville people there, we know.
Yeah.
You don't have to play in every single thing with them. No. Like Magic players like different things.
Yeah.
Like Hippo, if you would probably find some Legacy event if you wanted to play in stuff. I wouldn't touch Legacy with a 10-foot pole,
Yeah, I mean, I can say I have my own things to do. Also, I like to be kind of the like dad of kind of groups and stuff. So I like to make sure everybody's all good, and if anybody needs anything, I can come bring it to them. Things like that. I like to be that kind of person.
So that's nice too, and just like don't be afraid to like verge off from your friends. Y'all can always meet up later and stuff like that too. Yeah. So
if you're like in the zone and you're like, I just need to do my thing, guys, then like
or if you want to go trade in some cards, go like the vendor booths.
Yeah.
There'll be lots of stuff.
Now
like
we're just
that.
advertising the con.
Yeah, for sure. It is a big part of it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a big experience. It's a big experience.
Yeah.
Again,
Cool.
outside of gameplay, be nice to people.
Yeah.
Be a human being. We're all people.
That should go without being
That
unsaid, but we have to say it.
these are just tournament and inside tournament lifestyle things that go on. So
Shall we just move it to the Pauper challenges then? Do we got any closing thoughts about this at all?
Yeah, we can move on. I think just, know your deck that you want to bring, be prepared, have plans, and just make sure you as a human, as a person, are prepared for a long day of Magic. Yeah.
Like life advice, and this applies to Magic so much, but also just like life. Try not to let the things you can't control bother you. Focus on the things you can control. Like if you lose to top deck Lightning Helix and Randy Buehler shouts, "Oh my God, it's Lightning Helix!" and you're on the receiving end of that, it's like, well, there might not have been something you could do about it. Just like, don't think about it the whole time.
I know we're called Team Tilt, but that is not something you should be doing constantly throughout the day. And not every slight inconvenience, not every game loss that you have really needs to bring your whole day down.
You can control how you treat other people.
Yes.
You can control how much water you drink. You can control how you smell. So let's focus on those things first.
Focus on the things that you have control over.
You focus on what hands you keep. Focus on
It just applies to everything in life.
Yeah, it's everything.
Anything in life.
Yeah, focus on what you have control over.
Yeah.
That's a free one.
Off the dome.
Alrighty, here we are with some modern challenges. We're looking at this.
What?
No, why do I do this to me? We are with some Pauper challenges. Saturday? Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. So this Saturday.
you're getting
We have we had both of today's challenge results come in while we were recording. So we'll go over those quickly. We're going to kind of breeze through these today. We've got only a little bit of time left for us here in the studio.
Before I kick them out.
That's right.
Don't blame you.
Pauper Challenge 32 on Saturday, February 17th. In 8th place, Tunak on Turbo Fog. In 7th place, Carrot Eater on Coggates. In 6th place, Ritual Sinkhole on Turbo Fog. In 5th place, Mikathara 1994 on Cycling Storm. Let's go, baby. In 4th place, Hampus 1 on Flickertron. In 3rd place, Forrester F on Jeskai Ephemerate. In 2nd place, Denisovich Alexei on Blue-White X Familiars. And in 1st place, Hamuda on Mogwarts. Back-to-back wins over between 2 weekends, I believe, for Hamuda here. And I believe Hamuda also split finals twice in the Pioneer Challenges between yesterday and last night.
Great job.
Yeah, just absolutely crushing it. A top-tier crusher. For those of you who are not familiar with the Cycling Storm deck, James, can you give us a quick rundown of what the Cycling Storm is all about? And maybe this spell called Songs of the Damned?
I would be more than happy to do such. All right,
Better
everyone.
believe that.
Welcome to one of my favorite mechanics of Magic, cycling. For those who know me, I like to cycle cards in Living End in the modern format. So what the idea of this deck is you are going to be cycling cards such as Architects of Will, Drannith Healer, Drannith Stinger, Horror of the Broken Lands, things of that nature. So
they're either cost generic or black mana to cycle. Is that what I'm getting?
Or free.
Or free, like Street Wraith.
Yeah, Street.
Okay.
So that's the idea. And then we're gonna build up a bunch of mana with the biggest card in here is called Songs of the Damned. So single black. It makes it black for each creature in your graveyard. So you're gonna make a ton of mana that way, obviously, right? Because you're putting all these creatures in your graveyard. And so the idea is that you've cast all these rituals because you have that, along with Songs of the Damned, you have the regular suspect cards like Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual. And Lotus Petal is like your other accelerant in the deck as well. So you're just trying to make a ton of mana off very, very, very few lands. This plays like, how many lands?
12 lands.
Ooh,
Yeah, 12
wow.
lands. You're playing very few. And some of these are even cycling lands, so they don't even have tap for a color. So you're on a very, very low land count. So you're trying to produce a ton of mana with these ritual effects and Lotus Petals and so on and so forth. And the idea is that you cast a card called Reaping the Graves, which says that return target creature from your graveyard to your hand, Storm, and has a mana cost of 2 and a black. So the idea is that you've built up enough Storm off of casting these ritual effects, and you are able to pick up all these creatures from your graveyard, put them back in your hand, and eventually you're able to cast a card called Drannith's Stinger, and it says whenever you cycle a card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Oh, is that the only way you can win the deck?
Yes.
In the game? And you have
4
Lotus Petals to cast as Drannith's Stinger.
You also have Blood Celebrant, which you can pay a black and pay a life to add a mana of any color.
Okay, that's new. That used to not be there.
You can also use there's a 1 copy of Repository Scob, which you can use to return the Reaping of the Grave back to your hand, so you can go again.
The Hada's play is really cool. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. You gain life equal number of cards you've discarded this turn. That's insane.
Yeah, you just start cycling a ton, then you gain a ton of life. This is your version of Weather the Storm.
Yep.
Is there not a better win condition than Drannith's Stinger, or is Drannith's Stinger very good? And I'm just it's just
the cool part is that the cool part is you're able to get it back really, really easily. Like looping with Reaping the Graves is very easy in this deck.
Okay.
This deck has a really hard time beating the card Relic of Progenitus. I will tell you that. But again, if you are experienced at playing this deck, you played this deck a ton, somebody like Brian Cook, you'll know how to play around your Relic of Progenitus as you play with it more and more.
Yeah.
But something like this is one of those more degenerate combo decks, kind of like the One Land Spy territory.
Mm-hmm. Sick.
So that's what it reminds me of a lot.
Yeah, this is very much like One Land Spy.
Nice to see it make a return.
It's a cool deck that's nice to have around.
Any other notes on the Saturday challenge?
Just Turbo Fog continuing to do really well.
It's also the same person that continues to do well with it.
There's 2 of them in there.
Yeah, it's the one person.
But Ritual Sinkhole
continuously every single week is putting up a result, like almost in every single challenge.
Jeskai Ephemery has been showing up quite a bit, and some like weird flavors of Tron have been showing up recently. I think last weekend we had another Flickertron style deck, and it's cool to see that's still here. Maybe like Turbo Fog, Familiars, this deck, Cycle Storm even. This is like the response to like, hey, if you're gonna sit there and do nothing, I'm gonna win the game, and
I'm gonna go bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's tried and true as long as Magic's history. If there's a bunch of grindy games going on, just go bigger than them.
And Rakdos Madness in 9th place, barely not getting there, so it's cool to see that deck jumping back up, making an appearance. Shall we move on to the next one, Mr. Gunn?
Let's do it. All right, so these we're just pulling off of Magic Online, so I'm going to be scrolling through these lists as we see them. This is the 32 minimum player Pauper challenge from today, Sunday, February 18th. In 8th place, Cabezada Bolo on a pretty sick version of red-white synthesizer that's also playing all that glitters. In 7th place, we have Doblep on Gardens. In 6th place, we have IMVP, looks like on Jeskai Ephemerate. In 5th place, we have Echo Baronin on Mono Red Koldatha. In 4th place, we have Ale MTG on Blue Black Terror. Looks like they are on Mental Notes and Thought Scours, so kind of your traditional list there. Only 1 Murmuring Mystic in the sideboard. That's interesting to me. In 3rd place, Luffy de Chapeau de Paula on Grixis Affinity, making a strong return to the top of the tournament. In 2nd place, Purgatory 01 on, looks like blue-white glitters. We've got Metallic Rebukes, we've got Of One Minds, Moon Circuit Hacker is here. And in 1st place, Magic Forever MTGO on Koldatha Red.
We said that name last week too, didn't we?
We did, yeah. The back-to-back weekend challenge wins, I believe, for them and for Hamuda. Crushing.
On the Sunday challenge, again, I wouldn't be surprised from that because like the double Q thing with the 2 challenges. Like I think you're going to see more aggro decks on the Sunday challenges.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment to make.
Yeah, these are way more aggressive decks than normal.
Cool. I like the synth list in 8th place, like playing glitters in the synth list. And they're also on Wedding Invitation, which is a 2-mana artifact. It enters battlefield, draw a card. You can tap, sack it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If it's a vampire, it gains a lifelink until end of turn. But more importantly, it allows you to first it's an artifact that cantrips, which is good in a Glenhawk Skyfisher deck. But also you can make if you're not putting your glitters on your flyer, or if your opponent has flying blockers, then you can just sack the Wedding Invitation and make your glitters creature unblockable. It's pretty sick.
8 inspectors too.
8 inspectors.
Yep.
I might have known what was up before it happened.
I'm not gonna play 8 inspectors still, no matter what.
You will die on this hill.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna do it.
All right, when I beat you with it, I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like 4 Weather the Storm in this
you gotta make it to
sideboard.
the top 8 first.
4 Weather the Storm in the
can do that.
Gardens sideboard as well.
I can't.
That makes. I would be very surprised with a Gardens deck not to have 4 Weather Storms. You do see them on 2 Snuff Outs and 3 Defiles, so you do have that mix, like I was talking about a little bit earlier in ours. And I
like 4 Defiles, right?
I like 4 Defiles personally.
I would agree. I also like the 4 Defiles.
But that too.
Especially if stuff has been faster. They've been awkward sometimes. I'm also starting to see less than 4 Tithing Blades, so like 2 or 3 Basilisk runs 2 and 1 Chainer's Edict, just because I think they like having that flashback.
Yeah, it's like a 2-for-1
grindy stuff.
If you get to that stage of the game.
I think it's potato, whether you want that or the backside of Tithing Blade. And I think Tithing Blade being able to be sacked is very...
For your dispute effects.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's very, very good. So I think I still lean towards Tithing Blade there, just my personal bias.
Cool.
I don't see anything special about this Jeskai Ephemerate list. This looks pretty similar to what you played, Hippo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's move it to the next one. I guess like this wasn't super aggressive.
Just a pretty like, standard, nice, diverse. Mono red making a good appearance here.
I guess
again, Rakdos Madness in 9th place.
Oh, that's where it goes. Like
relegated to 9th.
And you have grindy decks in here. Like you have the Grixis Affinity, you have the Terror deck, you have Garden. Yep. So it's like it's not all just mono red and glitters, which is nice to see. Yeah. I was a little bit worried when I learned of how they were going to structure these.
Moving on to the 64 player minimum Pauper challenge. Also today, Sunday, February 18th. In 8th place, we have R. Clint 21 on Flickertron.
Ooh.
In 7th place, Fingers 1991 on Koldatha Red. In 6th place, we have Bicodicea on Blue Black Fairies. In 5th place, we have Viashino Peruano on, looks like Synth List. Yes, Synth List. We've got 1 Bajuka Bog in the main. They got Seal of Fires.
This is wild.
They're on Seeker of the Way. I know you've liked Seeker of the Way. They're on a full 8 Inspectors.
Of course they are.
Only 1 Lightning Bolt.
So this is a wild list. This is cool though.
Old school Arashan Cleric in the sideboard. The 1 and a white from Fate Reforged. 1/3 enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. Go to an oldie, but still sometimes goodie. In 4th place, here we go. In 4th place, we have SKP Chino on Ponza, aka Red Green Land Destruction Mid-Range Ramp something.
Oh, you want to play Tron Rans?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this deck makes sense.
You want to go over your opponents by playing those sick lands? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. How about I just thermokarst these lands?
This makes so much sense with like this Orzhov Blade coming up that plays the Orzhov tap land. You have Gardens being popular always, Fams being super, Familiars being super popular.
Tron
right
coming back up, Turbo Fog.
Honestly, this doesn't seem like a bad place to be right now. Like you have good sideboard options against mono red specifically, and artifact decks in general. So I think this doesn't seem like the worst place to be. Like expect to get scooped under low sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it just does nothing. Sometimes you cascade it, you're annoyed out the sword into a Utopia Sprawl.
And you just draw the worst pile
unless you're me in pickup games against Cameron and I cascade into Avenging Hunter every time.
Every cascade spell you casted, either the 7-mana one hit the 6-mana one, and the 6-mana one kept hitting. Every time you cast the 6-mana one, you hit Avenging Hunter. Yeah. So I'm like, oh wow, this deck's really good. When every time you cast the Pirate, it hits Avenging Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
My cards like me. In 3rd place, Niederschatten on Blue Black Fairies. We got a pretty good Fairies contingent showing up here. In second place, Lost in Kato on, looks like Jeskai Glitters. We've got Galvanic Blast and Synth for red. No Ren's Resolves or anything like that. They have a 2-2 split of Novice Inspector and Thraben Inspector. And 4 Gear Seeker Serpent, which is cool to see. For those who don't know, Gear Seeker Serpent is 5 blue, 5/6. It costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. And for 5 and a blue, it can't be blocked this turn.
So you say it's at affinity for artifacts, right?
Yeah, it basically has affinity for artifacts. That's pretty sick.
No Ornithopters, no aggressive 1-drop either.
No, just outside of the stock Ginger Brute, but yeah.
And oh my goodness, look at this first place list.
First place, Nick Norman on Gardens. Look at that. I didn't even know that. What a perfect way to close out the episode.
Was this the same person?
No, different.
Okay, very similar list, because I'm seeing one Chainer's Edict, one Drowned Sorrow. Oh, this person's playing 3 Tithing Blades, not 2 Tithing Blades too. So
cool.
They were confirmed different.
They're also less in on the Defile plan. They're playing like Bajuka Bog and Rot Farm as well.
But they were playing 3 Defiles.
They were playing 3, but they're also playing like the Fungal Infection to kind of offset.
That's good if you're expecting mono Kadoltha, because then you could hit a Kadoltha token and block the other one, so it deals with Kadoltha super well.
I would agree.
No, this list looks sick. 1 Moment's Peace in the sideboard, extra just random fog. It's kind of sick. A Troublemaker Oof. Do you like the Troublemaker Oof? Have you tried it yet?
I have not had an opportunity to play it yet. In that Brazil tournament we covered, like almost every Gardens list had it.
Yeah.
The body's probably nice, but I also like the instant speed of
the Glamour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Exile part on that one's also pretty good too.
Yeah, and like
Oof, yeah.
If you're worried about like a Glitters creature hitting you as the Gardens deck, like you already have like good responses there. So it's like maybe it's not the biggest deal if it's Sorcery Speed or not, and the 2/2 is really worth it. I don't know. I'd have to test it out, which I have not done. So I'm not going to play it in Chicago.
You can play some Declaimers instead.
Oh yeah. Sick. Any other thoughts on the challenges?
No, Pauper seems to be doing
Okay.
Pauper things. Like you can expect anything to show up again.
Like we listed like a lot of different decks in just in these 3 top 8s, and we do every week. Like that's the sweet thing about the format. There's a lot of things to do, and that's why we keep coming back to it. So we like it so much.
I think people do get caught up on like, oh, this is like the best and the correct thing to be doing because everyone else is playing it. But I think it just becomes like this player copies this deck and the other people copy that deck and so on, and like stuff doesn't get iterated as much.
Information cascades.
Yeah, and then you'll see like someone show up with Flickertron or Cycling Storm. It's like, nah, these and Turbofog just made a reappearance again. It's like these decks still can hang and they're still good.
Mm-hmm.
I can play these off meta cards and still do super well.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, if you have a synergistic pile of staples, you will do well if you have a game plan.
Yes, it's all about that game plan, baby.
Pauper's very open to brewing.
Yes.
All right.
I would agree.
All right, y'all. I think that wraps it up.
That's it till Chicago, baby.
Yeah, if you see in Chicago, come say what's up. All that stuff. Go wish Gunn good luck on the Pro Tour. You can watch him playing the top 8 out on Sunday. All that fun
calling
stuff.
it, making the call.
Dude, you have no. If I'm not putting the pressure on you.
No, I would be so jazzed for it. I'm feeling good.
If that happens, I don't care. I will be in that building
We will
Oh,
get
good
you
getting you in that
I was like, somehow.
on the same way we talked about, don't control the things you can control.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Be happy you got to the second Pro Tour.
Yes.
You did really well. We're
Yes.
all proud of you. There's a
Yes.
lot of Nashville people that are proud of you. So just like, if you don't do super well, you already made it there.
That's right.
And you won in life. You have a great girlfriend.
I do.
Have great friends.
I do.
We
life's
will love
good.
you no matter what your result is at this
Life's
point.
good, man. Life's good.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I know you will. Y'all are awesome. I feel really well supported. I literally have on one of the Sylvan Scryings I'm playing, Cameron, you literally wrote "You got this. We're proud of you." Smiley face on it. Like I'm gonna put that in my deck. It's very exciting. It's one of those things. I'm gonna do a little bit of a soapboxy here thing, but like it's one of those things where like my intro to Magic was in freshman year of college. and I playing whatever dirtily bad standard decks with friends, and then like a month or two later it was Pro Tour Gate Crash in the winter of 2013, and I was like, what's this? And one of my friends was like, oh, this is the Pro Tour. I was like, what? And I was hooked immediately. And now, like, little over a decade later, like, I'm finally like, I'm doing it twice. Like, it's insane. It's amazing. I don't take it for granted. I'm really excited. It means so much that I have y'all's support. That just like when I went in Barcelona, just my phone blowing up after every round when I would update you guys, like it just means the world to me. It is all about the gathering. I'm just excited to get to play against the best of the best and see what happens. So yeah.
You already made
thanks,
it.
Man.
You already did well.
It's true.
Most people don't get to play one Pro Tour. You're playing your second.
I am.
So, that's awesome. Like I said, if you made it this far, thank you all so much for listening. You can always ask us questions on Twitter if you see us in person, or at our email, commongroundpod@gmail.com.
Don't get upset when Cameron stomps your teeth in the Pauper Cup.
My money's on our boy Cam.
Oh
here.
yeah,
for sure.
The Nashville's king of Pauper is ready to crush this thing.
And I'll be happy if you kick my teeth in too. I'm just excited to play some Pauper, y'all.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace out, y'all. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening, man.
Love y'all, everyone.
See y'all in Chicago.
Bye.
Because we've done it twice now.
We've done it twice now.
Done what twice now?
I mean, I'm cutting all of this out, but
you can cut that bit out.
yeah. Well,
Jesus.
We're fumbling. Did you
Fumbling.
use a paper towel?
no, I'm fine. There's very little in here.
You want me to lick it off? No. Down, boy.
James. Ooh.
Did you ever notice? That's why I don't wear shorts, because my knees are red all the time.
You gotta leave that in at least.
No.
No, I'm kidding. Yes, I am kidding.